This is Brian Galicia from, as you can see in my background, Seattle, Washington. What a great opportunity for many of us who are professionals who graduated from high school way back when and can share our personal stories of how you as a student can be successful in any type of role or jobs that you might be considering. So I thought I would share my personal journey. I graduated, if you can believe it, back in 1992 from high school. From a high school back in, if anyone knows where the state of Oregon is, all the way on the West Coast. Grew up, born and raised. Actually went to school in the Seattle area called the University of Puget Sound, a liberal arts college. And lo and behold, after I graduated, I actually decided that I loved the Northwest and decided to stay here. So my personal journey actually started in software. And so I graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science business. I specifically knew that I wanted to be in computers. If you can rewind the clock, I know many of you have either an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch, or maybe if you're like me, you have all the above, and you have a mobile device. Back when I was growing up, we didn't have any of those things. We actually had what was called a Commodore 64. I'm not sure if anyone knows that, but when I was in school, we learned programming called BASIC, which basically imagine like Minecraft. It's very similar in the concepts of what blocks and things used to do, but that was the programming language back then. That fascinated me, but indirectly, that really wasn't something I wanted to pursue from a standpoint of I didn't see myself sitting at a desk coding all day. That's not my personality. That's not something that was really interesting to me. And so I got into software and doing computer science because I knew I wanted to do something in the software industry. I just didn't know what. And so in my junior year to my senior year, I actually got an internship at a software company in the local Seattle area. And that kind of started my journey in software. And for those of you who use LinkedIn, and kind of a side note, I would encourage you might be thinking as a high school student, gosh, I'm not even looking for a job. I'm just trying to make it through to a graduation, and I'll worry about getting a real job when I actually graduate from school. One of the many things I tell students is that you're on social already, whether you use Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever it is, Twitter. You already sharing things and being in that process. And I would encourage you, as taking your personal brand and starting that process, think about using LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is one of those ways that gets your name out there. And so for me, my journey, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see that my journey has started with software in many different roles, but particularly in sales. So I've always had a background in sales or pre-sales. And what those entail is basically trying to convince someone to buy from you or understand the solution or capability that you're trying to position. And if they trust you and you're sharing value, they'll potentially buy from you. And so for those of you interested in a selling career, it's really interesting because you really can make your mark in regards to creating a lot of connections. I don't consider myself an extrovert, more of an introvert, but I actually get really passionate. I might treat myself as an extrovert because I go in and share stories and engage. And so my current role at Microsoft, and you can imagine Microsoft does many different things, ranging from, again, I mentioned Xbox. You might be sitting at home, well, you are based on the circumstances we are in today. You're sitting at home and you're utilizing Xbox. You get on a computer, it's probably, hopefully, a Windows device, whether it be a Surface device or some PC that you're logging into. You're doing searches. You might be using Bing. And then if you're anything like I'm doing on this recording, you're utilizing things like Teams and other types of Microsoft technology. And so today, my current role at Microsoft, I've been at Microsoft for, it's hard to believe, almost 14 years. And my current role is essentially helping other software companies understand and realize the value of building their solution or co-selling their solution on top of what Microsoft does, particularly business applications. And so skill sets really required for this for roles in anything. It's communication skills. I can't stress enough being able to get in front of people of 5 to 2 to 1 to thousands of people. The ability to communicate ideas and collaborate is so important. And so when you think about yourself in high school and in school, making sure that you actually are honing that skill set to where when you're on team projects, you're talking to your professor, your teacher, making sure you're engaged, making sure you're asking a lot of good questions, making sure that you have the ability to really understand the content, but also collaborate and ask questions and also take in diverse thought and experience. Another critical value that I see all the time is having what I call, well, not just me, but what we like to do at Microsoft is hold a growth mindset. And that means is that being open to always learning, having a constant learning culture and learning mindset, so that you may not be proficient in a certain thing, but having that point of view to say, I'm not ready yet. And yet is a critical thing, because you may not have the opportunity or the ability to do something right now, but the ability to actually engage and do something as you learn and engage. And so when you think about career progression, pay, etc., that's the best thing. I'm really blessed and fortunate enough, especially under this pandemic and everything we're up to. I am fortunate enough to work from home. I don't necessarily have to go to the office. I like to, because I like to engage, as mentioned, collaboration and teaming. It's a critical part to the job, but I can really do it from anywhere. And with technology like you're seeing today, we collaborate visually over many different collaboration tools, including, in this case, Microsoft Teams. And so what I would say, advice and considerations, I would just say, again, always be constantly learning, network. I think the one thing that I always tell students or even professionals is that you got to build your network. And it starts with your peers, staying in touch with their friends in high school, finding out what their friends do, or people who are maybe brothers, sisters that are older than them. Really getting into contact and start to build your network is to find out what do other people do and what excites you. Whether it be software or something else, I think the one thing that I always think about is I always try to challenge myself in whatever I do, but I want to be challenged in a way that I'm excited about it. And the thing I can portray for all of you is just ensure that you're passionate about what you're doing. And when you're passionate, it's going to come out. Your enthusiasm is really going to get behind it. And it's not really going to be a job. It's going to be something you just enjoy doing. And what's fun is you get paid for it. And so I think when you think about choosing your career, choose it with something that drives your excitement, something that you want to go do long term, or something that you just see yourself enjoying and making great connections. And I think that the highlights of my career, there's many, but I think the one thing is, for me, having the opportunity of being nominated for what we refer to as a Circle of Excellence at Microsoft. Basically, it's an opportunity where 1% of the employees, or less than 1%, which is, we have over 100,000 employees, you can imagine, less than roughly 500 people get this recognition, where it's an all-expense paid trip to really a place that no one really goes to, or a really expensive place. In this case, it was Monaco, which is, if you don't know where that is, it's actually connected in France, close to the Italian and French borders. It's basically its own kind of quote-unquote country, but it's connected to France. And I had the opportunity to, again, celebrate this recognition with many different people, and also had the opportunity to engage with our CEO, Satya Nadella. And so I think if you ever have those opportunities to really exert yourself and dream what's possible, I think that's the biggest thing, is just having the aspiration to never take no for an answer, have an opportunity to succeed, and have that growth mindset. And there is no ceiling. I think you have the opportunity to succeed in whatever you do. So hopefully that was a little bit of a point of view. I'd love to have more of a conversation. If you want to connect, you could just find me, Brian Galicia, either on LinkedIn or Twitter. Feel free to reach out and engage. Best thing is to actually say that you got a chance to watch this video and ask questions, and I'm happy to address them if I can. And so feel free to hit me up on either of those social platforms, because that's where I spend the majority of my time professionally. And so I can't thank you enough for taking the time to listen to this video. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully this whole COVID and pandemic will end over soon. Hope is not lost. I hope everyone stays safe at home, and thanks again for the opportunity, and good luck in your career. Take care. Thanks.